Chapter 28, The Public Miracles of Christ. The public miracles were so destined would be the downfall of our beloved Christ. This is what drew the attention of those who would call for his death. The wedding at Cana was a joyous occasion, a celebration of love and unity attended by family, friends, and the people of the village. Among the guests were Jesus, his mother Mary, and his disciples. During the festivities, an issue arose that threatened to bring embarrassment to the hosts. The wine had run out. Noticing the predicament, Mary approached Jesus with a quiet but urgent request, saying, "They have no more wine." Jesus responded, "Woman, why do you involve me? My hour has not yet come." Yet Mary, with unwavering faith in her Son, turned to the servants and instructed them, "Do whatever he tells you." Jesus then directed the servants to fill 6 stone water jars, each capable of holding 20 to 30 gallons with water. Once they had done so, he told them, "Now draw some out and take it to the master of the banquet." The servants obeyed, and as the master of the banquet tasted what had been drawn, he was astonished. The water had turned into the finest wine. Unaware of the miracle that had just taken place, the master of the banquet called the bridegroom and remarked, "Everyone brings out the choice wine first, and then the cheaper wine after the guests have had too much to drink, but you have saved the best till now." The wedding at Cana stands as a testament to the abundant grace and provision of Christ, demonstrating that he transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary through his divine presence. One day, as Jesus traveled from town, a large crowd followed him as he left. They had seen him heal the sick and heard his words of truth and grace, and they wanted to hear more. Their hunger for his teaching led them to a remote place near the Sea of Galilee. As the sun began to set, more than 5,000 men, along women and children, realized they had nothing to eat. Seeing this, Jesus, full of compassion, turned to his disciple, Philip, and asked, "Where can we buy bread for these people?" Philip, looking at the vast crowd, was overwhelmed. 8 months' wages wouldn't be enough for each person to have a little, he replied. Then Andrew, another disciple, hesitantly spoke up. "There is a boy here with 5 barley loaves and 2 small fish, but what is that for so many?" Jesus smiled and said, "Have the people sit down." The disciples arranged the crowd on the grassy hillside. Then Jesus took the 5 loaves and 2 fish, lifted his eyes to heaven, and gave thanks. He broke the bread and fish and handed them to his disciples to distribute. As the food was passed from one person to another, a miracle took place. The bread and fish never ran out. No matter how many hands reached out, there was always more to give. The people ate until they were full. When everyone had finished, Jesus told his disciples, "Gather the leftovers so that nothing is wasted." They collected 12 baskets of leftover bread and fish. The crowd was amazed and whispered among themselves, "Surely this is the prophet who was promised to come." This miracle was more than just feeding the hungry. It was a sign of Jesus' power to provide, to multiply, and to sustain. He took a small offering and turned it into an abundant feast, just as he would later offer himself as the bread of life for all who believe in him. The feeding of the 5,000 showed the limitless generosity of God, who nourishes both body and soul. The town of Bethany lay quiet in the afternoon sun, its people unaware that a great miracle was about to take place. Lazarus, the brother of Mary and Martha, had been dead for 4 days, sealed in a tomb by a heavy stone. The sisters had sent word to Jesus, hoping he would come in time to save him, but Jesus had waited 2 more days before beginning his journey. His disciples were confused by the delay. "Lord, if he is sick, shouldn't we go to him?" they asked. Jesus answered, "This sickness will not end in death, but will glorify God. Lazarus has fallen asleep, and I must awaken him." Still not understanding, the disciples hesitated until Jesus said plainly, "Lazarus is dead, but for your sake I am glad I was not there, so that you may believe. Let us go to him." By the time they reached Bethany, the town was in mourning. Friends and family had gathered to console Mary and Martha, who were grief-stricken. When Martha heard that Jesus had arrived, she ran to meet him, tears streaming down her face. "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. But even now I know that God will grant whatever you ask." Jesus looked at her with deep compassion. "Your brother will rise again." Martha, thinking he meant in the resurrection at the end of time, nodded. "I know he will rise again in the resurrection." Jesus then spoke the words that would echo through time. "I am the resurrection and the life. Whoever believes in me will live even though he dies. Do you believe this?" Through her sorrow, Martha declared, "Yes, Lord, I believe that you are Christ, the Son of God." Mary soon approached Jesus, falling at his feet. Her voice trembled with grief. "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died." Seeing the sorrow of Mary and those around her, Jesus wept. He walked to Lazarus' tomb, where the weight of the moment hung heavy in the air. "Take away the stone," he commanded. Martha hesitated. "Lord, he has been dead for 4 days. The smell will be strong." Jesus gently reminded her, "Did I not tell you that if you believe, you will see the glory of God?" At his word, the stone was rolled away. The crowd stood silent, their hearts pounding in anticipation. Jesus lifted his eyes to heaven. "Father, I thank you for hearing me. I say this so those standing here may believe that you sent me." Then, with a voice of divine authority, he called out, "Lazarus, come out!" A hush fell over the crowd. Then, from the darkness of the tomb, Lazarus, still wrapped in burial clothes, but alive, appeared. Gasps and cries of astonishment rippled through the crowd. Some fell to their knees, others whispered in awe. Jesus turned to them and said, "Unbind him and let him go." Martha and Mary rushed forward, embracing their brother in tearful joy. The whispers of wonder turned to shouts of praise, for they had witnessed a miracle unlike any other. But not all rejoiced. News of what had happened quickly spread to the Pharisees and religious leaders. Their awe turned to fear, and from that moment on, they plotted to take Jesus' life, unaware that he held power even over death itself.